Hello and welcome to yet another episode of One Take. We are looking at the last week of the Parliament finally, and what a session it has been. Complete acrimony and a breakdown of communication between both the sides, with the opposition parties also not letting up. Of course, the Congress party wanted to take the lead on this, so multiple protests by them, a debut speech by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Rahul Gandhi talking about tapasya and also becoming a topic of much memes.
तपस्या का मतलब शरीर में गर्मी पैदा करना, समझिए? हाँ, तप का ये मतलब है, तपस्या का ये मतलब है.
But in that cold state of the valley of Jammu and Kashmir, there was that one comment which came in which seems to be unraveling the India bloc once again. Now you're going to ask me that why do I talk about this each time? Because each week when I think that there is some hope for opposition unity, out comes a comment which seems to be shattering that hope.
जो लोग ईवीएम पे सवाल उठा रहे हैं, अगर उनके पास कुछ है तो इलेक्शन कमीशन को जाके वो डेमो दिखानी चाहिए कि भाई हमारे पास ये वीडियो है. इलेक्शन कमीशन ने वो सबको बुलाया था.
And this is about EVM. So this week I'm going to talk about the EVMs, and I know it's a done, dusted topic we keep thinking and talking about, especially after results are out. But there are two important developments which I'm going to be focusing on. Once the parliament session is over, most of the Congress leaders are back from their vacations. They are planning an EVM Yatra. Something along the lines of the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra, but this is going to be called a little differently. It's called about the EVM Yatra, a little bit about, kind of creating awareness, going state by state, crisscrossing the country. That route is being chalked out and trying to make people aware about why they should also be supporting the idea of a return to the ballot box and give up on the EVM machines. In fact, if you remember, in Priyanka Vadra's debut speech, she did make reference to it when she tells the treasury benches, which is the government, that let's go back to vote on the ballot papers for doodh ka doodh, pani ka pani.
आप भी बैलेट पे चुनाव कर लीजिए, आप भी बैलेट पे चुनाव कर लीजिए, दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाएगा.
Unfortunately for the Congress party, the dampener and pouring of cold water comes in from one of their own. Now the Congress party plans an EVM Yatra to go to the many states and to tell people that why EVM machines are not the correct and the right barometer for judging whether the government is popular or not. And if given a chance, and if it was a level playing field, then the India bloc would win elections. Who is throwing that cold water on this perception and this narrative? As their own, Omar Abdullah. Now, Omar Abdullah in an interview has pointed out and said that I am all very well in favor of raising the EVM issues, but you should raise it not just when you've lost, but also when you're winning elections. Now, he has a reason because he belongs to an area in which they have won the elections. He was in an alliance with the Congress party, and therefore he thinks that taking part in this kind of a narrative would not fit into the achievement of coming back into the chair of the Chief Minister. But the bigger question I really want to raise is that this EVM Yatra which is being planned, which states will it go through? Will it go through Jharkhand, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka? Because those are the states in which the Congress is in power. And then how are you going to justify to the people and explain to them that we don't seem to be having a problem with the EVM machines as far as these states are concerned? So if the EVM machines or election commission was upright in states which they won, then how can you question them in the states that they have lost out in? Doesn't it make you look like a poor loser? That's precisely the point which BJP is asking, but more importantly, something which Omar Abdullah himself is suggesting.
If you have problems with the EVMs, then you should be consistent in those problems. And the thing is, how can you have a problem with EVMs and then continue to fight elections? If you don't trust the machines, then you shouldn't be fighting.
So the EVM machine is not going to die down because we are heading for another important election which is going to be very acrimonious, very bitter, and that's the Delhi election. The Aam Aadmi Party has already raised the bogey of faulty EVM machines and also about bogus voters. They've already gone to election commission, the counter has come in from the BJP, and that is going to become a very, very important and potent factor in the kind of narrative the Aam Aadmi Party plus the Congress Party is also going to come out with. So the Congress has issued a statement saying and this is to Omar Abdullah, that you may be talking about our strategy, but there are those who have supported us. One is, of course, Sharad Pawar NCP. Second, of course, is the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena, the Aam Aadmi Party, the Samajwadi Party. So why are you now having a different point of view? But what is common amongst all these parties? All these parties I referred to who seem to be supporting the Congress's strategy as far as the EVM goes are also the ones who seem to have lost the elections. The MVA, for example, in Maharashtra, the Samajwadi Party did not do well in the state and in all those 6 bypolls. One party I'm certainly watching very carefully is the one which comes from my state, which is the Trinamool Congress. The TMC is not getting into this EVM narrative. They are focusing more and more on issues. How, for example, the centre not giving funds to Bengal, price rise, unemployment, because they know EVM is a very delicate and dangerous territory for them, like for Omar Abdullah, because in the 6 bypolls they won. They won the state election. So how can they raise the issue of EVMs? Because then the BJP is going to say that you don't have a problem with the EVM machines here. Why are you raising a question? Interestingly and significantly, in West Bengal, it's the BJP which raises the issue about how the entire booth capturing takes place by Trinamool Congress. To sum up, what is my take on it this week? I personally feel, and as a political reporter, it's a lost cause. Because how will you convince the voters that there's a faulty EVM machine? It is not really a people's issue. You have to kind of quote it as a people's issue and take it to the people. Somehow when you keep on talking about EVM machines, it does not seem like a people's issue, and that really is the beginning of the problem. And therefore, will the EVM machine divide the India bloc? It certainly seems to be doing so. And is the EVM machine an issue which is a non-issue as far as the opposition parties go? That certainly seems to be an issue, because at the end of the day, parties like the TMC, Omar Abdullah do understand that this is not a people's issue. It's not a political issue. And therefore, I wrap up, and we are heading into the year end and the end of the winter session of Parliament, and ask you this question. Why is it that the Congress party is harping on an issue which may not have zero traction? But more importantly, is the Yatra going to be one which is going to head nowhere? Thank you so much for watching.